On the cold, windswept nights of Chicago, along the infamous Archer Avenue, a story has been whispered for nearly a century. A story that locals still fear to tell when the moon is high and the streets are silent. For it is said that a young woman dressed in glowing white appears out of the fog, standing on the side of the road as though lost in time itself. And her name, spoken in shivers, is Resurrection Mary, a restless spirit tied to tragedy forever, cursed to walk between the living and the dead. Those who drive down Archer Avenue late at night often describe the same chilling scene. Headlights cut through the mist, and suddenly, a pale figure emerges from the shadows, a woman with golden hair wearing a flowing white party dress, her delicate hands clutching at the thin air as though asking for help, her face eerily beautiful, but strangely distant. Her eyes dark pools of sorrow that seem to stare through the soul of anyone who dares to look too long. Some say she raises her thumb like a hitchhiker, silent, desperate, begging for a ride, and many drivers, unable to resist the pull of pity or curiosity, stop their cars, roll down their windows, and invite her in. She speaks little, sometimes only giving her name as Mary, sometimes whispering an address, sometimes simply nodding, her voice soft, almost too soft, as if echoing from another world. The ride begins in silence with the driver sneaking glances at her in the rearview mirror, noting the way her dress never seems to wrinkle, how her hair doesn't stir even when the wind rushes in from an open window, and most unsettling of all, how her skin seems so pale it almost glows with an otherworldly light. Some drivers say that when they attempt to make small talk, she gives no answer, only a faint smile, a smile that does not reach her eyes. The ride usually lasts no more than a few minutes, for when the car approaches the gates of Resurrection Cemetery, the destination she always seems to request, she vanishes without warning. One moment she is there, sitting quietly in the back seat, her reflection visible in the glass, her shadow faintly cast against the door, and the next moment, nothing remains, no sound, no presence, only the lingering chill of the air where she once sat, and the faint scent of roses, like flowers left too long on a grave. The driver, stunned and frozen with terror, slams on the brakes, staring at the empty seat, realizing that they have given a ride not to a living woman, but to a restless ghost. Over the decades, countless witnesses have come forward, each telling nearly the same story. And though skeptics dismiss it as imagination, the consistency of the encounter sends shivers down the spine. In the 1930s, she was first reported leaving a ballroom, dancing with young men before asking for a ride home, only to vanish when the car reached the cemetery gates. Taxi drivers have sworn under oath that she disappeared from their vehicles mid-ride, and some claim they even tried to follow her into the cemetery, only to find no trace of her in the fog. One man once described how she accepted his offer of a coat on a freezing night, draping it over her shoulders. But when she vanished at the cemetery gates, the coat remained on the iron fence, the next morning folded neatly, as if placed there by unseen hands. Another chilling tale tells of a driver who felt her cold hand brush against his as she sat in the passenger seat, her fingers icy, brittle, almost lifeless. And when he dared to glance at her again, her eyes glowed faintly in the dark, filled with a sorrow that words cannot describe. The legend says she was once a real young woman killed tragically after a night of dancing struck by a car on Archer Avenue in the early 1930s and buried in Resurrection Cemetery, her restless soul forever retracing her last steps, searching for a way home, searching for peace she never found in life. To this day, visitors to the cemetery claim to see handprints burned into the iron bars of the gate, twisted marks said to be left by Mary herself when she tried to pull herself free from her grave, desperate to return to the world of the living. Skeptics may laugh, but even hardened police officers and night patrols have reported seeing a figure in white wandering along the roadside, vanishing into the cemetery walls as though the earth itself swallowed her. Those who encounter her are left with a chill in their bones, a nightmare they never forget for resurrection. Mary is not a ghost you simply hear about. She is a ghost you experience, a ghost who rides with you, who looks at you with those hollow, sorrowful eyes, and then leaves. You with the haunting realization that the dead are not always silent, and some stories never truly end. So, if you ever find yourself driving down Archer Avenue on a lonely night, and you see a pale woman in white standing by the road, remember this story, and remember the warnings, because if you stop to pick her up, your life may never feel the same again. and her cold, phantom presence may ride with you long after she has vanished into the dark. Don't forget to subscribe our channel.